In 1955, the Horseshoe Bend National Military Park was established primarily through the efforts of Judge CJ Coley and Thomas W. Martin, president of the Alabama Power Company. Judge Coley was often asked to tell the story of the passage of the land from the Indian to the white settler.
In the late 1700s, as you know, the United States was being established and people were coming in from foreign countries. And then later, in the early 1800s, the white men began to come down from the west and the east because these lands where we're sitting now were being sold at ridiculously low prices. Now, the Indians felt that this encroachment was unfair, and they began to resist it. But that didn't stop the movement of the white people coming in. And so actually, the Battle of Horseshoe Bend was a matter of the Indians defending their land and themselves and their ancestry, and the white man trying to get a new place and a new country.
With the encroachment of the white men into Indian country, tensions grew and led to the Battle of Horseshoe Bend.
In 1813, Andrew Jackson, who was just simply a border captain, he was not a man of any particular military status. He was a soldier, and the word got up to Tennessee to Governor Willie Blount that there had been major depredations down in what is now South Alabama. Actually, what happened was that the Indians, I believe it was in Washington County, that the Indians approached a fort down there where the men, women, and children were staying, and actually killed about 500 Americans. And Governor Willie Blount called Andrew Jackson, who was, as I said, a border captain, asked him to get his army together, and then he had the 39th Infantry, and they came down here. Now, Andrew Jackson came down here in the latter part of 1813, and he sent his scouts over here. He camped up about 5 miles from Horseshoe Bend and sent his scouts over here to see what the situation with the Indians was. Now, those scouts came back and told him, and David, the man that wore the hat, David, whatever his name was, came back and told him, says, you just can't attack that. Says, somebody had built those Indians great fortifications. It was the English, we think. And so Jackson went back, got more supplies, and came on March the 27th, 1814, and attacked this place right here, the bend in the Tallapoosa River.
In increasing numbers, the white settlers came down the Appalachian foothills of South Carolina and Georgia on horseback and wagon, traveling through creek fords and Indian trails into the territory known as Alabama. Bob Saxon, scholar and author, marks the transition of ownership of land from Indian to settler, when Indian villages were bordered by the scattered farms of a few hardy frontiersmen.
The settlers look at Indians as an obstacle. There was little contact between the average settler and the Indians. Now, they were individuals in the white community that traded with the Indians. Harrison Young, for example, who was the first sheriff of Tallapoosa County, very influential in state and local politics, moved back and forth. By this time, the white settlements were so close that you could live in both worlds without a great deal of inconvenience. And the real significance of Horseshoe Bend is this: it literally broke the military power of the Creeks. Up until that time, the Creeks were sovereign in their territory, which included virtually all of Alabama and most of Georgia. Militarily, they were in control. They were the dominant military factor in this area. After the Battle of Horseshoe Bend, they were a defeated people.
Though the Battle of Horseshoe Bend broke the strength of the Creek Nation, the final concessions and removal of Indians in the Alexander City and Tallapoosa area did not occur until the 1830s. White settlers arrived in increasing numbers, purchasing land at cheap prices and establishing homes in the old southwest frontier of central Alabama.